Okay.
Herbs are electrical, and we have yet to understand that. I was concerned with the black leadership of America, not medical science. When I had cured these people of sickle cell and lupus and herpes and blindness, I was happy. I said, now I could go to all the leaders. I could go to Minister Farrakhan. I could go to Jesse Jackson. I could go to Al Sharpton. I could go to Oprah Winfrey. But what I found out, I was mistaken. I was wrong. They are not interested in the healing of any black people.
That's an explosive claim.
That is not an explosive statement. That is a reality. There isn't a black leader in America that is interested in the health of the black race.
Do you say that because they refuse to interact with you?
They are not in the position to respond. If they were, my first case of AIDS was cured in 1984. Yeah. And since then, we've been curing people of lupus and herpes and cancer and blindness. And not one black leader ever said, well, let us help the brother.
That you just mentioned what some people in hushed tones refer to as the C word, cancer. I have friends right now that have been victimized by that scourge of a disease. Two fairly close to me who have been going through chemotherapy. We just recently had the lieutenant governor from the state of Maryland, and the governor of Maryland has cancer, and he's been going through chemotherapy treatments, and he talked about how devastating those treatments were. So you obviously don't treat with chemo. Why is it wrong for a cancer patient to be treated with chemotherapy?
Chemotherapy is an approach that destroys cells. Chemotherapy doesn't distinguish between good cells and bad cells. It destroys cells. It's an acid approach.
What kind of approach?
Acid.
Oh, acid approach, okay.
My approach is an intracellular cleansing. What causes disease in the first place? An acid condition. Well, let us sweep it out. Let us find the plants that are consistent with cleansing. You see, we just begin to wake up. We just begin to realize that we are way in a deep deficit.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean that we have never spent time in analyzing or even trying to understand the difference in our genetic predisposition. We have never understood the science of biochemistry. All of the folks that have came to us, they came to us with history, bunch of history, a lot of religion, a lot of philosophy, but none of them came with a food that would help me to live as healthy as I possibly can. Look carefully. We're not going to make excuses no more. Because if we continue to make excuses, we're going to go deeper into the deficit. Just recently, a report came out that the Christian diet need to be examined, re-examined. Because in the Christian diet, you have people eating hog, potatoes, rice, and beans. But if we take this substance to a biochemist, he's not going to find any food in any of these substances. So why do we eat these things? Then we get sick. I always use that black woman in the jungle. For some reason, she keeps showing up. This black woman in the jungle keeps showing up as setting the standards and raising the bar. Why?
Tell me what you refer to when you say this black woman in the jungle.
Oh, I mean, this woman was the woman that set the standards. This woman didn't die because of disease. She didn't have any hospitals in the jungle. She didn't have any doctors. She didn't have any medicine. That's why Hippocrates said that your medicine should be your food, or your food should be your medicine, because the African people didn't have a doctor. They didn't need him because they didn't have any of the substance that would violate the biology of the individual. So how long did they live? Do you and I know how long those Africans lived in the forests of Africa before the chemical people came? Furthermore, my mama wasn't naked. She was natural. Because to say that my mama was naked in the forest is to say that God made clothes.
I mentioned Michael Jackson. You talked about your experience with him. I remember a provocative, very interesting profile that was done by CBS in an interview with Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who we also mentioned at the top of the show. Can you please tell us what your experience was with her? Because
Lisa.
she said, we have the footage, that she was committed to spreading the word of Dr. Sebi. What did you do with her and for her?
I don't know why Lisa would say that she was spreading the word of Dr. Sebi, because she healed Dr. Sebi.
She healed you?
That's right. This young lady came to me because she needed help, right?
Yes.
Her eyes were blinking really fast, and she had a little thing that she was suffering with that she wanted to get rid of, and she got rid of them. And one day she said to me, you know, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. She's in a 21 days fast. No, sorry, 42 days fast. Lisa came in the hut where I was living with these 2 cups of sea moss. Sea moss is known as Chondrus cryptus. I had her drinking sea moss. She said, you know, you have helped me, but you need healing. And she was right. I was in a state of disarray, and I didn't know it. It took a woman to show me that. And Lisa was the one that showed me that.
And what do you mean that you were in a state of disarray?
Well, at the time, I was involved with 3 different wives. I had 3 wives then, Matum, Annette, and Ma'a. And my life was not as stable because I had other women pregnant. You know, a young girl, 19 years old, was pregnant.
Outside of those 3?
Yeah, outside of those 3 wives. Her name was Fanny. She had my little girl now that run the village named Sama. She's 20. So Lisa said to me that I needed help. And you know, I didn't realize how much help I needed until Lisa told me that morning, and she was right.
What was the kind of help you needed?
I was like emotionally out of it. I mean, I was out of it.
And were you finding, did you realize that you were finding temporary security, affection, or love through the act of these other women? Is that what it was?
Love. No. Love is something that I never depended on from a woman. In fact, I don't even like it. You see, look, listen carefully.
I am.
The thing that moves SEBI is that object on the horizon that always keeps showing up.
Every morning.
Not the love of a woman. And this was given to me by my mother. My mother said, look, when you were born into the world, you didn't born with a twin. Okay? So you remember this, that the love that's going to secure you through life is the love that you offer yourself, not the love of a woman. That could come and go. I've been married 4 times. I came home and found my wife in bed with another man. I didn't even feel bad. I felt good. My grandfather always said, get another quick.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful. Look, these are the things that we need to cultivate, not the dependency of another. Why should you be dependent on me for love? On yourself. That love that you have for you, that love would never die. But if you depend on me, why would you want to do that? I mean, why would I even want the love of a woman when one day she tells me, well, I don't love you no more? Well, that's fine. Keep on stepping. But my friend John, he didn't do that. He killed himself. Miguel Angel Cruz on the ship, I was a merchant seaman. He killed himself. He jumped over the side of the ship.
Over that thing called love.
So your love, this word love, we need to re-examine that. I love women. Every woman I've been with, I love now, but I do not depend on their love. You ask about the young lady with us, she says she loved me. She's 25, ask her. I made it too. I'm supposed to be jumping for joy. Not so. My eyes is on the prize, which is Africa. I don't believe that I would ever feel as comfortable as I would like to feel if I do not accomplish the goal that I'm pursuing.
And it is. And that
helping Africa to get out of the...
And I understand that you've had some disappointment and frustration in dealing with African governments and African leaders, that after you have presented your body of work and these different people that you have healed, and Africa, many countries in Africa being so desperately in need of a way to address just start and stop with AIDS. But for the most part, they've rejected your approach.
Of course, and they were right to reject me. Not only Africa, I quit my job as an engineer to go to Dominica. I went to Dominica, and oh, I was happy. Beautiful island, beautiful people. And people were cured of blindness, diabetes, and a whole lot of other stuff.
You said people were cured. You helped?
Yes, while I was there. And Miss Mary Eugenia Charles said, you got to go. I said, but Miss Charles, I'm doing a service here. Look, you got to go. Okay? She kicked me out. Me and my crazy self, I went to South Africa under the leadership of Mr. Nelson Mandela. I said, well, I went to the Board of Health. I said, this is what I have done. And I showed them all my documents and diagnostic sheets. AIDS is devastating South Africa. So I thought that because I could do this job, that I would be received with love. That's all I wanted, love, right? Understood. Mandela said, get out of here. Nelson Mandela, wait. Another one, Mr. Mugabe from Zimbabwe. Oh, I got to Zimbabwe, I took all these boxes of compounds and, oh, I was happy. I'm going to do some work in Africa. I said, get out. I said, wow, what's wrong with me? What have I done wrong? But when I look at it carefully, the African were right to kick me out. They are right to reject me. Every African country is 100% right.
Why do you say that?